PG Edge employs, a vast quantity of experts, right? We've got Dave Page, we've got me, we've got Jimmy Angelakos, we've got, some committers to the core Postgres. I think each one of us has like 20 plus years of experience doing, that kind of things. We've kind of contributed to the source in such a way that the MCP server is a culmination of expertise from, Postgres people. It's not just an LLM project. It's not just someone spinning up what a lot of people will call AI slop. To say, I want this MCP server to be, to talk to my Postgres server and, and that'll be it. They'll maybe refine it a little bit and release it. Whereas we've kind of done careful vetting to make sure that from a Postgres expertise standpoint, someone coming in that's familiar with Postgres will go, oh, it's doing stuff that I understand makes sense. And if someone's not, it'll kind of protect them from making huge mistakes or, inadvertently exposing themselves to risk. We've got the security walls in place. We've made sure that there's no obvious exploits in it. We put in the TLS environment so that it can have encrypted communications. Like there's an interface there that prevents the LLM from escalating or causing issues when someone's just using the chat interface, for example. I haven't actually run into this personally, but one of the things a lot of people complain about with LLMs in general is they're not really tuned for the environment they're targeting. So a good example of this is, say you just ask Claude or ChatGPT or whatever service to say, write me a query that will find me all the units, give it a table name or two. And you say you're using Postgres. You say, give me a query that will give me all of the units sold for this quarter these restrictions, and it just generates a query for you. There is actually a fairly good chance that query will just fail because, either the LLM hallucinates or it gets a bit of syntax wrong or, something like that. Whereas one of the things our MCP server we've done with is we've told it, here's some basic rules you need to follow. And the other thing we've done is we've embedded the Postgres knowledge base for, our products and Postgres documentation, lots of extension documentation into a knowledge base locally that the MCP server can also ask. So the LLM knows that it can make queries into the knowledge base as well. So what'll happen is it'll say, well, I've got this query I want to run, but it can also decide that it can check with the knowledge base to make sure the syntax is correct. So those two things put together, it may decide to rewrite the query, it may decide to run a different query entirely, and all of those resources are just not available to an LLM by itself. It has to get that through some kind of external resource. You can do it with a RAG server, for example, but in that case, the only thing you're getting back is the references. And when you do retrieval augmented generation, you're saying, turn this user's query into a search on the database, pull back those resources, and then use the responses to help formulate a response. But that's a one-time thing. It can't just keep going back and forth with the service. An MCP server on the other side can. It'll say, okay, I've got what I need to do. I'll take the user's query, send it to the MCP service. Okay, now here are all these tools that the MCP server says I can use. Based on that response, okay, I need to call another tool now based on that response. And it can keep going back. You can set a configurable threshold, for example, but it'll go back and forth as many times as it needs to produce an answer for the end user. A RAG service won't do that. So there's lots of give and take for that process because it'll take longer for the MCP servers, but you'll get a better response.